All right, welcome back to Gross Potential. Holy, we have a very, very special guest. You may see him on your feed with the username Andrews Daily. I guarantee you've seen him on your feed. But anyway, let me give you a little bit of a quick introduction for Andrew. I did some math before this, and of Instagram and TikTok, I'm not sure about Red Note and YouTube. He is on Red Note. He has over 416,000 followers, almost half a million followers. He, in my personal opinion, is on the Mount Rushmore of content creators. Let me give you a quick comparison. Mount Rushmore, what that is for the presidents, it is the presidents that have shaped the course of our country and led it in a certain way. In my eyes, with the lifestyle creator industry, you have two guys that have shaped and are shaping this industry as a whole. Hub's Life and this man right here. And personally, what I just have to say is he is one of my favorite creators on this app, if not my favorite. So, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to have this conversation.
Wow. Thank you for, I wasn't expecting such a grand introduction there, but Anthony, it's good talking to you. I love seeing your stuff as well. And I've been a fan of you as well for the last couple months. And you grinding like no other college kid I've ever seen before. So keep it up, man. Let's get into this.
Thank you, bro. All right. So, right from the start, we have so much to cover. We're going to get a little bit into Andrew's beginning with content. We're going to dive deep, specifically deep into just content, advice for creators, some of the struggles, the challenges, working with agencies, a bunch of the stuff behind the scenes that normal people don't really understand. And then we're going to end it with some fun, interesting questions for Andrew. So, my first question to kick this off, why did you start making content and when was it?
Okay, yeah. So it was 2022, summer of 2022. I posted TikToks here and there, but I was never consistent prior to summer of 2022. And basically, to be honest, something personal happened and it just I was kind of like, like nothing really matters. Like at this point, like I don't care about judgment. I don't care about, what people are going to think of me. No one cares. Nothing really matters. So I'm just going to start posting what I want and we'll see what happens. So I started posting, you're not gonna believe this. I started posting influencer boxing news. So Jake Paul, KSI. What I would do is no one was doing this. I was like, this is perfect. Why is no one doing this? I would just get on the TikTok, record myself talking about what's going on. Is who's KSI fighting next? Who's Jake Paul fighting next? And people loved it. It was getting, I had some videos get like 1 million views. I got a few thousand followers. I was getting thousands of views. I only had like ever 5,000 followers. People weren't really following me, but they were watching. And I was like, this is awesome. But then after a few months, I was like, I'm not really passionate about this. I'm just like doing this for views and there's no point to this.
Yeah.
So I gave that up completely. I did it for a while. I did it like last video was probably October 2023. And then I transitioned to like a personal kind of account where I was just, um, doing what I eat in a day during half marathon training, what I eat in a day, to train for a marathon, come run with me. Just keeping it very safe. I didn't want to show too much of my life. I just wanted to keep it, what I eat in a day, come run with me, wouldn't be able to get too much judgment. But then I was like, I got injured. I couldn't run as much anymore. My videos were not doing well anymore. And I was like, you know what? Let's just throw a day in the life video. Day in the life was getting popular. Life after college videos were getting popular.
Yeah.
So I did just a day in the life, put some sad music on. I didn't really think of it was sad music, which probably helped. The video on TikTok gets like 50,000 views, which at the time for me was like, I was like, holy cow, that's more than what I eat in a day's ever would get. So I was like, there's something here. And then I go back home for Thanksgiving break, I'm hanging out with some friends before Thanksgiving, and we're all talking about IG Reels. This is November of 2023 and how IG Reels is like blowing up, like videos that every video is getting like 10,000 views minimum, which is hard. 10,000 views on TikTok, it's no slouch tag. It's tough to get that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna post this day in the life that I posted on TikTok on Instagram. Like maybe it'll get some views. A couple days go by, I boost the video. It gets like for $5, I boost it. It gets a couple thousand views. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, screw it. I don't care. I don't look at it for a few days. I come back and it's got like I think it had like 400,000 views. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
Your first video.
First video. The first video.
Holy
So
crap.
and it only went up from there. So then I'm getting thousands of. I probably got 3,000 comments on that video. Probably 1,000 hate comments. I was getting DMs. And I was like, what is going on? This makes no sense. Like the video got millions of. I think it ended over. It was a few million. The first video,
Right.
and then I gained like a couple thousand followers from that, and I'm like, screw it. Like at first, I was like, my first thought was, I just want to quit content like I want to be done. I just like these hate comments really got to me. Like they really got to me, and I was like, I'm actually done. Like I don't want to do this anymore. But then I'm like, screw that. Like I'm going to turn this into something positive. And so then I just was like, I'm going all in on this. So I stopped the what I eat in a days. I stopped the run with me videos for the most part. And I just every single day just posted every single day and just kept posting and was just growing like pretty quickly. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know strategy. I had no strategy. I was making any money. I was
Yeah.
just screw it. Like we're just going to keep doing this. And it just grew over time. And here we are now.
Okay, so that's super interesting. I didn't know you started off in the boxing space. That's super unique. My question though is, and I'll give you a little bit of a story on my part. I originally started content in October 2023. I wanted to do it so bad, but I was so afraid to do it by myself. So I tried to get two of my friends into a joint fitness account. So it was less of like people make fun of me. You're doing this, you're a loser, you're weird. I tried to get everybody on board. They didn't want to do it. It's whatever. I started doing it myself. With this podcast, I love public speaking. I love doing this types of things, but I was like, I can't just create a random podcast by myself. Like I'm gonna get so much shit for it. There's no chance. And so I tried to group friends in again to like dissipate the embarrassment and be like it's a group effort. It sounds like possibly maybe you were in the same boat with the boxing. Did you do boxing because it's more of a neutral thing? It's news, everybody wants to see it, and so it's less of like getting personal and maybe you're going to get judgment from it. Is that why you did boxing, or was it just, I don't know, something off the top of your head?
I mean, maybe I never like thought of it like that, but that maybe that's kind of why I veered toward that. It was very safe. It was like, what is someone gonna make fun of me for this? Like I don't really care. Like the videos are doing well. Like it is what it is. But realistically, I think what happened is I was just posting like random stuff. Like I just had my like it was like my name, and I just was posting like I just wanted something to stick, and I posted a bunch of other stuff too, and it get like 300 views, and then I just posted one video about like Jake Paul's next fight, and it got like 20,000 views. I'm like, whoa,
Okay.
that's big deal. I was like, I'd never gotten over 1,000, so I was like 20,000. So I just kind of ran with it. Like there wasn't too much thought into it, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a safe. Like no one's really gonna like make fun of me. They probably will never even see the videos, but they're still out there. I mean, I'm not gonna take them down at this point, but
Well,
but
I'm
yeah.
gonna go look at those after this.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you can maybe find them. They're pretty old, so I don't know if they'll like they won't come up on For You pages anymore. But yeah, no, they I had some of them pop off, so it was a fun time.
on, on the topic, you said one thing happened in your life that just said, screw it, I don't care about what other people think about me. Before that moment, were you someone that was, I mean, fear of judgment? You were always consumed with other people's opinions. Content seemed like nothing you could ever do. Was that the previous Andrew before that moment happened?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I posted some YouTube videos, and what I like this is like high school, like maybe early college. I posted some YouTube videos, but it wasn't to do with me. It was just like sports edits, and some of those did pretty well too. Like I did a Royals video, and it got like over 200,000 views. Like I have always loved like artistic, like creating and stuff like that. Um,
Interesting.
and realistically, like, yeah, I mean, I was just scared. Like, I was like, you're in a college town. If you post a TikTok, like, it's gonna be sent around. Like, you could have 5,000 followers, 1,000 followers. It is people are going to see it. So just like knowing that was like really daunting. But then after that happened, I was going into my grad year of college, and I was like, I don't like no one cares, and I don't even care. So I'm just gonna like do what I want to do, and we'll see what happens. And then when I moved to Chicago, it like really opened things up because I'm like, well, now I'm literally like, who cares? Like, but now it. What's crazy is now people like see me out here and they like say like, oh, I've seen you on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, so
That's what I was gonna say. How many people on a daily basis, like how many people stop you? I'm sure when you're on that train, when you take the train, Are you getting a lot of, oh hey bro, I've seen your stuff before?
Yeah, it actually does happen like a fair amount, and I think that's just because like TikTok and Instagram like really try to push you around like your area.
True.
And Chicago is such a highly populated area, obviously, but it doesn't. It happens a lot more if I'm like a night out, like people are drinking and everything. That's when it really happens. 'Cause I think people might like see me and they don't want to like, or they see me with my girlfriend, or like they see me out and they might not want to like bother me. But I honestly, I really like it. It's like fun to like have just random people kind of come up to you. So I'll be
It
honest,
is.
like it's a cool thing.
Well, so on that topic, I would say one of the best things ever is when someone comes up to you in public and they just tell you like, your content's really helped me out, or there's a certain thing like you inspire me, something like that. One positive comment like that outweighs 10,000 hate comments without a doubt. It's like the big, at least for me personally. And something you said right at the start, it's like you were getting hate comments left and right, so many, 3,000, and it really, really got to you. What was the change that made you say, screw it, I don't care about hate, I'm not going to let this get to me anymore?
I think it was like I had posted so many like I had posted so many videos, and like the only ones that had gone viral were about other people. And now I had posted a video about myself, and it had been I was the product. Now I wasn't talking about someone else or showing off someone else to go viral. It was me now, and I was like, I'm gonna this is what I always wanted, is to like something that I truly created myself to go viral, and I'm gonna let some pointless hate comments that don't really matter affect me and end it all. Like that doesn't make any sense. If anything, it should be the exact opposite, and I should be motivated to just keep going because I finally got exactly what I wanted, and now I'm gonna just give up. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I can't quit now. Like now is the perfect time. Like you finally got what you've wanted all this time, so just go with it.
So does it motivate you then?
It
Like to,
100% motivated me, and honestly I don't get them really nearly as often anymore. Like it's very rare that I get them nowadays, and the ones that I do get really aren't good. Like give me a good hate. If you're gonna give me a hate comment, like give me a good one. I see like ones and it's just like some guy's commented. I think he's commented cringe on every single video for like 30 videos straight. I'm like, all right, like I guess keep doing that. It's whatever. But like, give me something that's really gonna get me going, and that then I can use that as motivation. But I can't use cringe as like what like
right.
like give me something I haven't seen before.
What I was this was a while back, dude. This could have been 2 months, 3 months, maybe it was over the summer. I saw somebody commented some hate comment on your page, and I love the way that you responded to it. I get a ton of hate comments all the time. Every creator does. It's like inevitable. But I sometimes I don't really respond to them because I'm never gonna come back at someone, and I'm trying to figure out a creative, funny way to do it, and then I just can't. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say anything. But one of the things you did, it was so
That's
simple, but it was so funny, bro. Like it literally spoke your personality. Like I watch your videos, I hear you talk. I'm like, this is such an Andrew thing. You just did. This guy said something malicious, and you just responded, "What the heck?" with an exclamation point. And I think this, something so simple like that, dude, it like got me laughing, and that had way more likes than the hate comment. It's like, do you have a strategy with responding to hate, or most of the time do you just not do it? And I know you don't get a ton of it anymore, but in the past,
yeah. I mean, I think you just try not to come at it like I don't know. I don't like strategize like how to respond, but like I say, you really don't want to come at it like it personally affected you, even if it did, because it's like you're gonna look at that in a couple weeks and you're like, oh, I got like salty over like nothing. Like, what the heck? Like I said, what the heck? Like honestly, I probably did. Like just because it's so like that's so neutral. Like even the guy that hated on me was probably like laughing at the response. He was like, oh, that's actually kind of like I'll give you that one. Like that's all right, like fair. So I don't know if I have like a strategy, but I guess don't take it personal. Like at the end of the day, they're just
yeah,
commenting. Like it doesn't really mean much. So
no,
just don't
I
take it personal.
I feel that. All right, so moving into a topic that I know I get on the phone with a lot of creators in this space. I'm sure you message some, if not get on the phone with a lot of people. One of the biggest things that I hear about all the time is burnout. And if you told me 2 years ago that creators, lifestyle creators, or content creators get burned out, I'd say that's the softest shit I've ever heard. All you
No,
guys do is you take a video of your life and you post it. You don't have to work a job and you get paid by brands and just to live your freaking life. I have never been more wrong. Burnout is a real thing. And I recently was burned out over Christmas break. I'm trying to understand. Have you experienced this before?
oh, 100%. And I guess before we get into my, I guess strategies, like, do you have any, how did you recently got burned out? Like, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, dude. So it was the end of Christmas break, and a lot of stuff I was doing, it was just like every single day. I got a ton of momentum with like waking up early in college. It was like POV, you don't have class till 11:30. And so every time I make this video, boom, tons of followers, boom, 100,000 views. And I'm like, all right, well, that's the roadmap. I'm just going to keep making videos like this and I'm going to grow, 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 grow. Well, obviously, it gets to the point where your audience gets tired of it. They know what's coming. It's not the same effect. But I was so pigeonholed in that area and so constrained that I just kept doing the same thing every single day. And I didn't like understand nor put effort into expanding. And the only thing I did were lifestyle creators. I was just posting my days. That's it. No creativity. And a lot of it came down from fear. I'm like, I can't step outside the box, post something different. My audience isn't going to like it. It's not going to go as well. I was just trying to play it safe. And I was on vacation over Christmas. And it's just like, I genuinely hated filming my day every single day. And I felt no love for it, no passion, no creativity. And it got to a point where I said, I'm done. I'm taking X amount of days off and I just need to completely re-strategize and truly figure out why I am doing this right now and what's my purpose. And after I did that, took a little bit of step back. My traction wasn't as good for a couple days, but it's much better now and I'm enjoying myself a lot better. So that's my story with burnout. It's a real thing, but I think a lot of creators face burnout and then they also just live in fear with the types of video that they post, and because of that it just like it constrains them.
No, yeah, that's kind of like the same route I think I was about to kind of explain is I feel like the way to overcome burnout is maybe taking a break, like, taking a day or two off or a few days and, seeing like, okay, like what is actually the cause of this? And I think most of the time the cause of burnout is kind of what you were saying is making the same video over and over again. Because like that's kind of when I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, like I just the first video went viral and I was like, all right, I guess that's what I'm doing now. So then I was just doing routine after day in the life, and I'm like, dude, like I want to change this up a little bit. So like I slowly incorporated stuff. I did my first video that veered off the regular path was I think I did like a clean with me and I was talking in it and I was like trying to be funny. And like it did pretty well and it was really fun to make and I was like, all right, this is what creating is about, like actually enjoying what you're doing. Cause like once it starts to feel like a job, it sucks. Like you don't I already have a job. Like I don't want two jobs, even though sometimes creation is gonna feel like a job at times. Like you still need to have moments where you're truly enjoying what you do. And I think that's like breaking out of your shell is scary. Like you were saying, like you have fear. You're like, how is this gonna be perceived? Like, are people gonna like this? Is anyone going to watch this? Is this gonna be like embarrassing? But what I will say is like I feel like most of the time when you do kind of break out, it kind of can pique the interest of people and like maybe someone that hadn't seen you again, you come across their feed and like, oh, it's the day in the life guy, except now he's doing something different, I guess. Like I kind of want to see this. So like
Yeah.
usually I think it is perceived pretty well by the audience. And even if it's not, hey, I mean, you enjoyed the video. Hopefully your burnout's a little bit less and you can just keep on keeping on. Like it's not really that big of a deal if it happens to not perform as well as you'd like. So
So
yeah,
your
I think
your
that's the key.
your number one priority then is just enjoyment when making videos, or what is it?
I think you have to have a balance because like I'd love to say like I want to enjoy every single video I make, but to do that you can't really post every single day, probably not even every other day, which
Yeah.
sucks. Like I wish like it's just with content like the cycle's so short. Like a video cycle is so short, and sometimes like I wish I've really tried. Like I feel like I enjoy more videos now than maybe I did a few months ago. But sometimes I'm like, maybe I haven't posted for a day and I like can't think of a new idea, and so I just have to go with, a routine video or a day in the life. And people like those videos. Like it's not like
I,
and they're not easy to make. But sometimes I feel like I'm like, damn, I feel bad. I'm like, I'm kind of doing the people that watch me a disservice. Like I'm not really giving it my all, but it's like people enjoy it, and I want to at least give them some type of content instead of just being dormant. But
wow,
the
you
no,
feel bad. Like you feel bad if you're just kind of coasting and making a day in the life video.
yeah, I feel bad because I'm like I feel like they've seen this before, and it's like I'm not giving them something new, and maybe they don't, maybe people don't really care, but like I care, and I want to like truly like entertain people with like new content and new ideas, and
Yeah,
whether it's entertain, inform, or just make people laugh. Like I want to do something for them, and like yeah, it's like I really want to like there's videos like you care about more than others,
true.
and like I want to get as many of videos that I truly care about out as I can. But it's just
Yeah,
so hard with like how we are nowadays. Like you got to just keep going. You got to have so many videos out there to like keep growing. It's tough, and it's like I think about like, man, what if I just posted once a week? Like what would happen? And like I know what would happen. Like maybe I'd enjoy it a little bit more, but the
yeah,
growth would go down. And so it's like you just got to find a happy medium. So maybe post 5 days a week, 4, 5, 6 days a week, and maybe a couple of those videos are the routine day in the lives, and then a couple of them maybe it's something you don't do as often, or it's something completely new. And it's
yeah.
tough, but I've been trying to work on that.
I mean, you can tell when a creator is being disingenuous or maybe just doing stuff for views or really doesn't care about their audience. Bro, I can tell you one thing, like you're very good at this content game and you're obviously very successful and people love you. You can't say that about a lot of creators. What you just said right there, that you feel bad if you just go every single day and post a lifestyle video, morning routine or night routine. I think that speaks a lot about your character and like your true care for content. So that's something that you don't get that a lot, and this isn't something lightly. Like I'm very impressed, and that's freaking awesome to hear. My question though is just with like your content, you mentioned purpose. Like if you describe your content with one purpose, what is it? Is it entertainment? Is it inspiration? Is it making people laugh? What is the number one purpose if you had to rank it?
I'd say entertainment, but I think most people would probably say like motivation or like inspiration, and like that's awesome. But I always was like, I want to entertain people. But like then people said like I was motivating them, and I was like, that was really never the goal. I always just wanted to put something out there, and
Yeah.
people to be like, oh, this is really cool. I like this. Like that was like even when I was like making YouTube videos as like a 16-year-old or whatever, like I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I hope someone enjoys this. And like that was always the goal, is just to like entertain people and make people be like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Gotcha.
What about you? What do you think yours is?
Mine is definitely like motivation and inspiration.
Okay. Yeah.
There's been a couple of people that have changed my life. A couple content creators that changed my life. Number one, I'd say the first one, Richard Yu. Have you heard of him before?
Does he have the book? Does he
No,
have
he
like
doesn't.
some? He doesn't have a book. Okay, no, I don't know him. I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of the guy that like says use debt or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm not. So anyway, Richard Yu was he graduated college now. He was a student at UCLA, entrepreneur. This freaking guy, every dude, he had crazy ass routines. Like he was getting up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because he was working a full time job. He was balancing school. He was doing content. He was running his own business, and I was so motivated by this kid. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And he was the one that actually inspired me, planted the seed in my head to start posting. And I remember vividly, it was senior year of high school. This was in the spring. I was going to Wash U next semester, and I was sitting in my room. I just finished watching a Richard Yu video, and I'm sitting there saying, "Okay, next year, I'm going to Wash U. It's a good school, so it'll catch attention and catch eyes. I'm gonna be a student athlete on the baseball team. People want to see that type of stuff. I love seeing day in the life of a student athlete." I'm like being called to do this right now. But in that moment, I'm thinking all these thoughts, just paralysis comes over me. And like I start sweating and anxiety. And I'm like, there's no way I can ever post a video like this. Like, what's this person gonna say? This person's gonna give me shit. My girlfriend's gonna give me shit. My parents, like, just freaking out in my head. I felt like at some point, like, I need to do this. So he planted the seed. Another person that I absolutely love that's inspired me to just kind of stand up for my beliefs, work hard. I mean, you can say discipline, whatever it is Patrick Bet David. I love Patrick Bet David, and he does a lot of content. So those two people have really helped me out. But I'm someone, and I know this sounds corny. Like, I'm not trying to be a corny person, but I love personal development and self help. Like, if there's one way to describe me, I'm always obsessing about how to grow myself as a person in my life, in relationships, my character. And so I'm trying to just present that as much as I can into this podcast, because obviously you can only do so much for short form, like speaking wise, but then kind of just, I don't know, do the same with just like lifestyle and short form videos. So it's more like inspiration, motivation, work hard, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I actually saw your I was listening to one of your videos or podcast on Spotify, and I think you said you met him at the convention, and then
Yeah.
you got a picture with him. That's pretty cool.
It was a pretty sick. You know PBD? Have
Yeah,
you
yeah,
seen it
yeah.
before? Yeah.
I've seen it like him on YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah. Very successful businessman. Anyway, I've got an interesting point. Or an interesting question. Are you ever motivated by frustration and anger? And for example, what I'll say is, I've noticed this, and my friend asked me this question the other day. And so when I break down kind of my content, my ebbs and flows, when you're on top of the world, everything's doing great. You feel like $1 million. You obviously just made a video that's doing well, so you're gonna make similar ones based on that. But then slowly audience fatigue hits, and they're like, okay, it's the same video. I understand. And so you slowly start going down. And then you get to right here, where it almost seems like every single video you put out, not a single person cares. And it's not doing well. You're losing followers. It's the worst feeling in the world. And in those moments, a lot of the times what happens is I get to that because I get super lazy with content. Because I've been coasting. I know exactly what to do, and then it's not doing well, and I'm not putting in effort. And I get so frustrated and angry with myself and the lack of effort and the lack of success that it forces me to sit in that bed, just close my eyes, make my eye wander, or make my mind wander, and just try to brainstorm and do things differently. And that's what pushes me to make a unique video. Are you ever motivated like that with just sheer frustration and anger with lack of results, and at yourself for not putting in effort? And does that spark some of your creativity?
Yes, actually, that 100%. So actually, like a week or two ago, like I was just in like a low spot. Like I shouldn't even be complaining. Like I was still getting, views and people were still watching, but I was just like, things weren't, things were like the worst they had been since in like a long time. And I was like, I was so mad. I'm like telling my girlfriend, I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Like, why is this happening? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's it. Like, I was having like imposter syndrome. I'm like, do I even deserve to have like a platform? I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was like, this sucks. And then I'm like, I'm just in the gym. I'm like lifting. I'm like, all right, all right. I'm like thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of this. And okay, I got this idea. Okay, ask ChatGPT a few things. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm messaging my girlfriend. Like, I can do something creative, like artistic. Like, I can be that guy. Like, I don't need to just do a routine tonight. I don't need to just do like a day in the life every single time. Like, I was being very safe. Like, I was just doing
Yeah.
like a week or so ago. I was just doing like day in the life routine. I was being very safe, and I was like, screw it. And this is when I threw in like I did the you made I think you said you saw it, like the accountant quitting video. I don't know if you saw that one. And I
Yeah.
did that, and it's like in the last couple of weeks, I think it's like my best video I've had. And so like this video, I was so scared. Like I was like, I don't know what people are gonna think. Like, oh my gosh, like what are people gonna say? It's a little different. Like it's a skit. Like I don't do this. I just like it was really out of my comfort zone, and people really liked it, and it was perceived really well. And I was like, dude, like, and then like now like things are kind of better again, and it kind of took me out of a hump. But yeah, I literally was like forced. I was like, I felt like my back against was against the wall when literally everything was fine. Like there was nothing wrong. But I was like backs against the wall. Like I need to, like the next video has to be good. Like it can't be bad. Like I can't have another video like not perform. And it just, I was just thinking of these ideas and just kind of put it together. And it was, that video was so fun to me. I literally like it honestly was, that was awesome. So
Speaking about
but
that,
yeah, that's one example.
speaking about your accountant video, I was talking to my friend last night, and I'm like, dude, you're never gonna guess who I'm having on the podcast tomorrow. And I brought your name up, and he's like, yo, didn't he just quit his accountant job? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's just a skit. He's still doing it. But and that was a funny point. But on that topic, I think one of the reasons, like the game of content, nobody's content is just for them. And Alex Hormozy says it every single time. It's content. You're putting out there in front of millions of people. Anybody is free to copy you and use your stuff as inspiration. And that's totally fine. I think the separator though from people who really are going to excel in the space long term, my and compared to the people that just get a little bit short term, is like the constant need to innovate. And you are one of those people, like that frustration and anger and saying, well, screw it, I need to do something else, I'm more than this. Like that's a good problem to have, and it's going to lead to more and more innovation. And that's why at the start I say, like, shaping the industry. You're going to come up with this idea, people are going to start doing it. You're going to say, I need to do something more. You're going to do this. Like that's how that stuff kind of works. And that's why I think you, one of the reasons why you've been so successful and will continuously keep being successful.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for creators is like you gotta evolve. You gotta like you can always have that base of maybe where what you like came up on, I guess would be the right wording, but I think like you have to evolve certain things if you want to like keep growing and keep being like a name that people talk about, or else you're just gonna most likely be stagnant unless you're just a one in a million case. But if you look at like the most successful content creators, it's the most successful influencers, I guess you would call them. You know, they all evolved. I mean, look at Jake Paul. He's like a boxer now. Like I don't know what the. I mean, his evolution has been crazy, and him even Logan Paul. Like you look at those guys; those are like a good little case study to see how much they've just evolved over the years, and they've been relevant now for like 10 plus years at this point, probably.
100%. They are a fantastic case study. Have you ever put any thought into your evolution where you may see yourself in the future?
Um, I no, I haven't. I've like thought about it, like where will I be in the future as like a creator,
Yeah.
but I haven't like I'm not 100% sure to be honest. What about you? Do you kind of see like a path?
I mean, I think this is gonna, like, the answer is no at the end of the day. I have no idea where the future is gonna go, because like obviously college is gonna stop, so you have to change something. But like it's lifestyle, so you can kind of do things. But I think changing your environment has a huge help, and it sounded like it did with Chicago too. Like I'm gonna be in a certain city next year that I'm not gonna drop yet until it kind of happens, just to build some element. But I'm gonna be in a certain city next year, and that city is going to bring a lot of new opportunities. Obviously, this podcast, who knows where that's going to take me? Who knows if a business comes up or what this or that? So it's just kind of exciting to think about, honestly. But that's one of my favorite things, like in the game of content. It's like I get phone calls, and I'm sure people ask you for advice, and they're like, "What's your advice? What's your advice?" At the end of the day, it's like you pivot, pivot, pivot. I started off just doing fitness content. I would film myself in the gym. That didn't work. I went abroad and got lazy, and I didn't want to put effort into my videos. So I started doing a trend where I took selfies of myself every day, how my physique changes abroad. And then I got really embarrassed doing that, and it was super boring. So then I transitioned into lifestyle, and then my internship came. And so I think just like the best part about being lifestyle, though, is your brand always evolves as you do. And so every new opportunity that comes, you can just change a little bit, which is interesting. It's a cool industry to be in.
Yeah, and especially being like a college kid. I mean, that's actually a good point. Like, I wasn't really doing lifestyle per se in college, so it's like that's good. You have so much more. Like, it's gonna be just a whole different world, a whole different life that you're living post college, which would be great and definitely gonna be room for evolution there.
Yeah. So it's exciting stuff that I think about. I wanted to mention one thing and ask you why you did it. And I was really impressed with this. So You posted a video a while, maybe it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It was something like, was it come run 10 miles with me? Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so you posted that video. I was like, okay, cool video. I think you got pancakes on the end at the end or something. But I start looking at the comments, and you pin this first comment, and you shouted out a different creator who you got the inspiration from. Not many creators do that. I know I've never done that, and I've gotten a lot of stuff from you. So next time I do it, I'm a shout you out. What made you give credit to another creator?
So full disclosure, so I actually know him, but like I know him like he's a friend of mine. So, but what I will say is I did see his video, and I was like, oh, I should do something like this. So he was the inspiration behind the video. But yeah, I mean, so I kind of just wanted to give him a little like pin comment there. But yeah, guys, I never had done a come run with me video before, and so I saw his and I was like, oh, this is actually gonna be kind of fun. Like he was doing them and he made some funny ones, so I'm like, all right, I want to try this out. So
So, but let's just say you got inspiration from him and he wasn't your friend. Would you have still gave him that shout out, or would you have probably not?
with a come run with me video, maybe not because it is a pretty like common type of video. So if I just happen to be been scrolling and I just saw like a run with me video, like I probably wouldn't even like I'd probably make the video like a week later and maybe forget that I even saw one, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I had a long run coming up and I'm like, oh okay, I kind of want to do a little come run with me video. So I don't know if it was like really specific or like I did something in the video that was like something that someone else does, I might pin them or like at them and be like, shout out this person.
And I think that speaks a lot about character. I loved when I saw that. All right, let's move into platforms. What's your favorite platform to post on?
Definitely Instagram. Instagram is such a it's just a great community over there, and like I like really feel like the people that follow me like really like truly like watch me. I feel like TikTok, like I have like a lot of ghost followers, like people just like follow you and then kind of never see you again. But Instagram, it feels more like a true like community over there. What about you?
100. Yeah, I mean, Instagram's way more of a community, and just like TikTok's malicious, bro. Like people on TikTok, they don't give a fuck. They'll say whatever and they'll come at you all the time. But I totally do. Like, do you answer DMs a lot and speak with your audience, or do you not do that as much?
So I'll like answer comments on Instagram and like I've tried to respond to some DMs lately. It's just really hard to like respond to so many because there's kind of like a decent amount of them. And then um Snapchat though, I try to respond to if I post a Snapchat, it's pretty easy to respond on Snapchat. Like that's one where it's like the easiest to talk to a creator on there. I don't know if anyone's like wanting to talk to a creator, like if you can't get in contact with them and they have Snapchat, like they might answer over there because it's just a much small like chances are they might not have as many followers over there and they'll see really anything that comes their way. So that's a big way I've been like communicating. Like the other day, I just kind of asked for like, some help with a video and it's great because you get like, 40 replies of people and you can kind of just see what they think and just quickly respond to them on there. So Snapchat's kind of a underrated communication tool for sure.
That's fire. I'll have to look into Snap. But like on the topic of Instagram, I you mentioned it perfect. It's like community. I love that. I personally try to respond to every legit DM because a lot of the stuff is like college kids or high school and they were in my position. And honestly, that's kind of why I create content. I do it for the past version of myself that was struggling with these things. And so like I freaking love it. And that's why I say like one positive comment or one positive DM, it just wipes away 10,000 hate comments. It's the best feeling in the world. And that's why I think like there's just a little bit of a competitive advantage with Instagram with that. But what I will say with video wise, do you find differences with TikTok versus Instagram? Like, for example, do you make your video a certain way, or what videos do better on TikTok? What videos do better on Instagram? Are you able to elaborate on that?
Yeah, and going back to your other point real quick, you're honestly right. I probably should need to respond to more DMs, so that's definitely on my to-do list. So thank you for that. But I'll get into the difference is. So in my opinion, so TikTok, I think people like value added stuff a lot more on TikTok, tips and tricks or like stuff like that. Um, I've noticed like videos on TikTok that are more like for example, if I made a because I'm in public accounting, if I made a top 5, CPA exam tips, chances are it would do a lot better on TikTok than it has on Instagram. And it would, because I've done it before, so I already technically know. But like a video like that would do better. And then I did like a sleep tips video,
Yeah.
and it did better on TikTok, which is it's kind of rare for a video for me to do better on TikTok. But I've noticed value added stuff oftentimes does if the video is well made.
Interesting. Why do you think that's the case though? Because for example, when I think of Instagram, I think of content that does well on Instagram is wholesome content. I think that's why you see maybe like a Hub's Life or someone like yourself or like a Micah Hescott do really well. Like their content is very wholesome and it's a little more family oriented. It's relaxing. It's giving good vibes, but also tips and tricks is like wholesome to an extent. Maybe not the feeling of love, but it's really giving value. Why do you think that is that difference with not being as good on Instagram?
I think people, I mean, personally, like if I want to learn something or if I'm curious about something or need tips on something, I'm going to go to TikTok. I'm not going to go to Instagram just because like the searching on TikTok is a lot better. And I think that might be part of it, just like the search algorithm and everything. But I don't know. I think it just pushes it out more and like people are more likely to save, a tips video on TikTok than they would be on Instagram. And then I also think like if I post a CPA exams tip video, TikTok is really good at like pushing that out to people that actually need it. Like they're really good at like pushing it out to, you know, seniors in college that are majoring in accounting or like kids that are just graduated with an accounting degree. Whereas I think Instagram is like pushing that out to like my follower that's a computer engineer. Like he doesn't need to see this. But like
I
TikTok like really targets people a little bit, probably a lot better than
yeah.
Instagram does. Is what I've noticed. Like they really like hit like you post something and like it's probably gonna hit the demographic it needs to. Whereas like Instagram, maybe it does as well. Just I don't think it does as well as TikTok. Like TikTok's really got that dialed down.
You want to hear a crazy stat?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have the number exactly, but I heard this a while back. TikTok is Gen Z's number one search engine. It's not
Yeah,
even
I mean, it makes sense.
it's
Like
not even
I would choose it over Google. Like maybe not in all situations, but if I really
yeah,
need to like
that
knee mobility exercises, like I'll go to TikTok over YouTube. Like it's just
really.
quick, easy. You
And
find what you need instantly.
what's the deal with Red Note? I know you recently joined Red Note.
So yeah, Red Note after TikTok went down, or maybe the day it went down, I was like, I'm just gonna, post on this Red Note app, and so they did like everything was getting like a couple thousand views, and like people were like like some guy messaged me or commented, he's like, hey, you should put Chinese subtitles on this, and like it'll do better. I'm like, oh, it's probably a good idea. So then I put like a few Chinese subtitles videos, and then one of them got like 150,000 views, and I was like, what is going on? So I need to post on there more often. That was my most viral video on there. I think I have like 3,000 followers, but
Okay.
it's a different app. Like it's tough because like the music isn't like I can't search music, and it's not like TikTok's music library is like insane, and Instagram's music library is also like amazing. So the music over there is kind of tougher, like to find music that fits for the video. But the people over there are like insanely nice. I mean, like they're most of them, like most of the people that comment, like they're commenting in Chinese, obviously, so I have to like translate it. But it's like
Yeah.
always like super nice, like very genuine comments, like nicer than TikTok, nicer than Instagram. Like it's crazy. It's a whole different world.
I'm gonna go to Red Note then. That's hilarious.
No, they'd love you over there. I mean, like it's a little harder to get traction,
Yeah.
but if you like, if you have to like, and you have to hashtag TikTok refugee. It's like very important. Like, I think it actually matters because it's like you're a refugee coming from TikTok is what they say. I don't know. It's probably been hashtagged like a billion times. It's insane. Everyone hashtags that on the video. It's crazy.
All right. I'm writing down TikTok refugee. That's funny. Uh, so for the person out here that's listening to this, and they're looking to get into content, and they're potentially looking to make a career out of it and start earning money. What are the different ways that you've made money from social media? And I know you post videos on this a decent amount of times, but what are those different revenue streams?
So there's of course like TikTok and Instagram views, which is pretty standard. And then you have affiliate work, so whatever your affiliates are. And then I think the really only other one would be so like those two, and then brand deals. So did I actually posted a brand deal today, probably right before this. It's what I was working on right before this. So I just posted that. So that's like my second one on Instagram, and then fourth one all time. So I'd say like money wise, like I mean brand deals are definitely like how you're gonna make the most money, but like to get there, like if your intent, like I remember I did a what I made video, and I was a little worried to make that because I didn't want people to think I'm bragging. I honestly think what I made was pretty low for my following. But besides the point, the video, a lot of people were commenting like, oh, like I might do this so I can, you know, make this amount of money, and I'm just like, if that's your like plan, or if that's your like purpose behind it, it's never gonna happen. It's
100%.
like never gonna, like I was doing it for over a year and I made like a couple $100. Like it was never like money. Like I'd still do it if today, like if it was illegal to make money off of it, I'd still do it. So
But so a creator of your size, I'm blown away when you tell me that you've done 4 brand deals all time. That's it. Why is that the case?
So I wanted to be really careful, especially on Instagram. Like I was like, I really built something here, like something I'd always wanted. I'd always wanted a big platform, and I finally built it. And I didn't want to do anything that could in any way tarnish it. So I was
Yeah.
very careful. And my first brand deal was like after a year of posting on Instagram, and it was like the perfect fit. It was with Indeed, like it was like for Indeed's like finance and accounting hub, like perfect, like couldn't be a better fit for me as like someone who works in public accounting, like accounting major, school, whatever. And so I was like, this is perfect. Like I'm gonna do this one. And so it really had to fit. And then it did well, and like people liked it, and no one was like, oh, you're a sellout. And I was like, okay, so it's probably not as deep as I really think it is. It probably does,
Yeah.
like just because you post a brand deal doesn't mean people are just gonna think like, oh, you're a sellout. Like it's really not that deep. But that being said, like I have no plans to like, you know, go like post one every single video, or something like that. Just when it makes sense, I guess.
And, and you don't work with an agency, right? I was also very surprised when I hear that. Like you have a lot of followers and you handle everything in house. Why do you do that?
So I think part of it was, I don't know what the word is, but part of it I think was like I can do this on my own. Like I don't need help. Like I can do this on my own. And I think that was a little selfish, not selfish, but like maybe not the smartest way to look at it. Because I honestly am planning to now sign with an agency,
Okay.
just because it's a lot of work. And like, I think with my last deal, I mean, or last couple of deals, you're emailing back, and like, you're getting like these email chains go deep. And I'm just like I got a full-time job, like I want to create content, and then I'm doing these emails on the side as well. Like this is a lot of work, like, and I'm handling it all myself. So now I kind of do want to bring in an agency, just so someone can kind of manage that, make sure I'm not like getting screwed over legal
Right.
reasons, and kind of take that off my shoulders. um but I kind of did just want to land, a couple on my own, just to be like, yeah, like I can do this on my own, but like, I don't have to. But like, because I think a lot of agency owners will tell you like you won't land anything, big on your own. So I think it was, I don't know what I was trying to be like cool or something, but I was kind of like, all right, like let's see if that's the case.
I mean,
And
You landed Indeed. Though. That's a pretty big one to land by yourself. That's lit.
Well, if you look at the video I did today, I landed an even bigger one, but we can talk about that later. But
Oh,
um,
what can you drop what the company is?
well, I guess I can because I posted it, right? So like technically I probably could. Yeah. So
Oh,
so it's with Verizon. So I just made a video about,
Verizon.
yeah, I was pumped. Like, and like I was like, that's what I want to do deals with, like brands like people like know and like recognize and like really like. And so it was with Verizon, and that's basically like the video is just me hyping up their they're doing something in Chicago for the Super Bowl at Soldier Field. It made complete sense. Like I was like, bro, this aligns perfectly, and I was pumped. And I don't want to like I want to like still be humble, but like it did feel good. I was like, that it feels good to like do that on my own. Like I didn't need someone else on my behalf. Like I could just pull that on my own, and it felt
Yeah,
good to like kind of close that myself. So yeah.
Verizon. Holy cow. Okay, so for the person that's sitting here that's never negotiated with a brand before, or maybe that's starting out and is trying to figure that out, what does it look like communicating with a brand like Verizon? How many back and forths are they? Are you giving the offer first, your rates first? Are they giving theirs first? Like, what does that look like?
So like legal reasons, I don't want to get into it too because I really don't know exactly. So I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But for the most part, every brand deal is going to be like every brand deal that I almost never get reached out from like I didn't get reached out from like Verizon directly. I got reached out from like they all kind of work through like agencies. So then you work with like an agency. They're like the one I worked with for that one was like awesome. Like it was great. It was a lot of work, and it was a tight turnaround. So it was I know it was probably pretty tough, but she was like great, like super responsive. So it was like they're great to work with these agencies. Like I mean, it's what they do. So yeah, most of the time it's like you get contacted by an agency, you negotiate a price,
Yeah.
and then you kind of settle on a rate, and they send you over a contract, and you read it, make sure everything looks good, and you go from there.
All right, that's sick, dude. Congratulations on Verizon. I would say the one of the biggest. I work with an agency, and I love it. Like it is fantastic. My agency is great. One of the best parts is like it totally does. It frees up a lot of your time. Like you're working 9 to 5 every day. You have content that takes up so much time. People understand how much that takes. But then it's like you mentioned at the end, like reading through the contract. God, I hate reading through contracts. I kind of just spit that shit in ChatGPT and I say, give me what I need to know about this. But the agency is great. Best of luck with finding that. All right, we're nearing the end of this conversation. I have some pretty fun questions that I want to ask. So first one, I think it goes from less fun to more fun. First one, what's the most amount of followers you've gained from a single post?
So on Instagram and TikTok, or just one or the other?
Either or.
So TikTok, it's like 14, just a little over 14,000, and then on Instagram it's a little over 38,000, which I thought was interesting. I was like almost three times, or yeah, almost three times TikTok.
What
So
what post was 38,000? What was it?
it was just like my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. I got like 31 million views. It was insane. I did not expect that. I had posted like tons of videos just like it before, and it
All right.
blew up on Twitter. It was crazy.
Oh, Twit. Yeah. I'm sure the Twitter part. I've seen creators before. Like I see you post on your story a bunch. Like this is on Twitter. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
Next question: if you were to start from scratch again, would you do anything different?
like from the beginning.
Everything got deleted. You have to start tomorrow. What are you doing?
Oh, if I had to start from okay. I'm just going right back to it, like lifestyle content, like doing what I've been doing, and probably even a little bit less day in the life stuff. Maybe more just kind of like doing really what I want to do for every video. But of course, it's kind of hard. Like the day in the life routine stuff, like it's good like it's hard to make, but it's like you can always have that video, in your arsenal. So I would just get right back on the horse if
When I
everything ended.
when I say that though, does it feel a little bit like a rush of freedom? Because like we talked about it earlier, like stepping outside, you're pigeonholed here, everything was deleted, you could start from scratch. Is there a little bit of relief to that? Do you think that you can just take it whatever way you want?
100%. It would, if that did happen, it would all be completely fine. Like everything happens for a reason. And if like that happened or if TikTok goes away, like it in the end it will be great. Like it'll be fine as long as you just keep at it, keep going, and you don't just quit and give up. So, but yeah, no, that's a good point. Like it would be very freeing for sure.
Isn't that kind of weird? I think the $1 million question is how do you get the freeing right now, today, with what you built up? That's the important question to ask.
You know what's crazy is like that's what was freeing about when I had less like a smaller platform. It was so freeing because it was like nothing matters. Like, oh, a video doesn't do well, who cares? Like no one cares, no one even saw it. But now it's like, oh, like a video only got this many views. Like that's embarrassing. Like I have this big page, I can't even get this many likes on a video. Like this sucks. And like in reality that stuff doesn't matter either. But these are like such like dumb problems to have, but like they weren't problems back then. But it's crazy because it's like my year and a half ago self would have been going crazy over a video that got 20,000 views, 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes. And now I'm like, oh, only 2,000 likes. Like that's so, like that's kind of selfish of me to even say, but like it was so freeing back then, like knowing like you're just happy about everything, every little success you get. And like that's what I kind of miss as like, you know, being new is like that doesn't happen as much anymore. Like,
It's it's not selfish though, because people may just say, "Oh, it's social media and that's why you're just doing it for likes." Look at your life in any other aspect. Once you get some sort of success, you tie everything to that. And then you get sad when you don't have that amount. Like
mhm.
it's a normal trait in human behavior 100%. But that's why when people reach out to me and they're on their phone and I'm like they give me a call and they're asking me questions. Anthony, I want to start doing lifestyle content. Like, what's your advice? What should I do? I don't know what to make videos on. I say, you are in the best position that you are ever going to be in. This is the most creative you're probably ever going to be. This is the least amount of stress you're ever going to have. You can do any single thing and it does not matter because there is not thousands and millions of eyeballs on you. It's like freeing and it's fun and it's you're able to express creativity in the purest form. So I mean, it does give a lot of relief, and that is one of the fun times. Like definitely at the
Facts.
beginning when you can just literally do whatever and it does not matter.
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's a good point.
Next question: where'd you get your famous wake up from? And do you wake up like that every single morning?
So I'll be honest. No, I don't. I actually do not wake up like that at all. Like if anything, I didn't sleep too well the last couple of nights, but I'm like I don't even know if I slept the last couple of nights. I don't know what's going on. But uh no, I wake up very like slowly. If I do sleep well, I'll wake up and wake up to my alarm, which rarely ever happens. I'll wake up very slowly, where it wouldn't even work for a TikTok. It would take me it takes me like 8-20 seconds to rise out of bed. Like it wouldn't even work. So no, I don't know where the famous wake up. It's gotten better. Like I'll look at like older videos and I'm like, wow, that was a crappy wake up. Like that was like horrible acting. So it's gotten a lot better, but I think I just did it once and people kept talking about it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep doing this. Like people keep talking about it, might as well just keep doing it.
No,
So
it's a fire way to grab attention, just like that,
yeah.
right off. Next thing, I got two more questions. If you went to a deserted island and you could only bring three things with you, what would those three things be?
Mm. So the island doesn't have water?
It has like food and water.
Okay, that's food and water.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring a tripod because I gotta have I gotta have my content, and then I'm gonna bring a phone as well. So we got the content down. I got two things, and I guess some electrolytes wouldn't hurt either. I might as well. I'm gonna need hydration out on the island. So electrolytes, tripod, and a phone, and we're chilling.
that's fire. All right, this last question. This is the $1 million one. You only get one option here. You can have sea salt spray, or you can have mouth tape. Which one is it?
Oh God. I'm taking the mouth tape. The mouth tape. I don't need the sea salt spray. It helps with the hair, but it's not a necessity. The mouth tape is a necessity for me, so I'm keeping the mouth tape for sure.
That's smart. You influenced me with the mouth tape. I got mouth tape the other day, and I've been just trying and testing out. I like it. It does
Yeah,
make it.
no, it's great, man. It's changed my sleep for sure. Not the last couple nights. I got to figure it out. I think I've just been on my phone too much, to be honest. I know that's a big thing that you talk about, like, stay off the phone before bed. Don't look at it first thing in the morning. And that's facts. But sometimes, man, sometimes it's tough.
It's
It's
tough.
tough.
It's, it's tough. All right. This has been a fantastic conversation with Andrew. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Go check him out. Andrew's Daily, Instagram, and then TikTok too. This has been super special. If you guys have made it this far, please give us a follow on Spotify. Feel free to rate our show. Share it with a friend. We will be a top 100 Spotify video podcast someday. The future looks bright. I'm so hyped for this. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on and enjoy it.
Thank you, Andy.